Alrighty, what's up everybody? Peter Joseph here for another video number 2 on your late Friday night, May the 10th, 2024, or if you're watching this, whenever you're watching this, it is now May the 11th, 2024, and you, my friends, are watching this video right here on the main channel, Killer of Demons 66. Watch out for that solar storm! 9. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video. Hit the subscribe button down below on this channel and my other channels down there. Well, I would say up there, but they're down there in the description box below. Share the video all over the internet. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, if you dare. And don't forget to tap and slap that goddamn bell. And treat it like it's the solar storm. Well, hopefully not like that, but, well, not too severe. But hit that bell, turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next video. Because, if not, well, you might be like the solar storm and lose power and everything. Hopefully not, but if you do, too bad for you, but if you don't hit that bell, you're pretty much SOL, and you know what that means. And if you don't know, look it up. And that's, pretty much all I gotta say about that. So we'll see what happens with that. And if you're new here, welcome to the party, pal! We hope you enjoy the ride. Sit back, relax, grab a cold one, and, enjoy the show. And if not, get out of here! And go fuck yourself. That's pretty much it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how much longer we're going to have power here in the Northeast and in the world, but the peak of this solar storm is supposed to be happening now or in the next couple of hours, and it's supposed to go through the weekend. So, that's not good. So, hopefully you're charging your cell phones up, because you might be losing power for God knows how long, hopefully not too long, but this geomagnetic storm is going on. Some people are seeing the Aurora Borealis, the northern and southern lights, from Australis, from Australia. So we're seeing that, and it said it was supposed to, I think it started here in the Northeast they said around midnight. It's 1:37 as I'm recording this video, and they're still talking about it on CNN and various news sites and shit. And they said that this storm could disrupt communications, satellites, power stations, GPS. Cell phone towers might go down for a little while, but hopefully not like we had like a month or so ago with AT&T. Their Wi-Fi went goodbye. You couldn't call anybody. Well, you couldn't even go online. I mean, it was like limited. You could talk to people. So I don't know what's gonna happen. So I'm recording this video now, and hopefully I can, I have enough time, and hopefully by the time I wake up tomorrow, you'll see this, and I can see it. But hopefully I get up and I don't have any, nothing's on. I have no lights beside, and, everything that's running on battery, which is other things in my house, they're probably going to be going out, and, the battery might, I have some things on battery, but as far as lights, computer, internet, I might not have it this weekend, so I don't know if I'm going to get a SmackDown review up tomorrow. And it kind of sucks that this is going on during the Rangers Game 4. Hopefully, power won't, I won't lose power at all this weekend, so I can see the Rangers. Maybe sweep tomorrow night, and then watch Collision and Rampage. It's not a great time for this geomagnetic storm, which you rarely see. I think it's like every 11 years the sun does its bullshit. But we haven't seen this level of this storm in like 23 years, I think they said. Or 21 years. I think the last one was like 2003. But, some of the power grids, they might go down, but they have some backup generators, so might lose power for a little while, but hopefully not like 9 hours like back in Canada like 30 some odd years ago, but that'll suck. You have no power, you can't do anything, you're basically home, you can't watch TV because you got no power. If you have a charged up cell phone, you can't really go online unless you use your data. So that kind of, it has an advantage and disadvantage, but wherever you are in the world, I hope you're going to be safe this weekend and maybe in the coming days going into next week with this phenomenon, not phenomenal, phenomenon, something like a phenomenon, as Beavis would say. And we'll just get through it. It's another random thing that goes on in the world. I know a lot of people, rely on their cell phones because, God forbid, an emergency happens. You need to call 911. Can't do it if you have a cell phone. Your cell phone's dead, or you can't even make an emergency call. You're fucked. Pretty much, you might be fucked. But just charge yourself. If I were you guys, and you're watching this now, if you're watching, if you're doing whatever you're doing at 1:41 in the morning, I would charge up the cell phones overnight, and hopefully when you get up tomorrow, at least you have, if the power does go out, and, you charge up your cell phone, you can go on it for a little bit, and then hope that by the end of tomorrow, the power comes on, you can do what you gotta do, and then recharge your phone, and then you don't have to worry about it. But the peak is supposed to be happening, I think they said between 12 and 5 a.m. when the sun comes up here in the Northeast. So, tomorrow's gonna be an adventure. Overnight tonight, in the wee hours of the morning, and then we'll see what happens tomorrow. It's supposed to be nice tomorrow. We might see, I don't know how the sky's gonna look. I have to see what happens with that. Remember when it was, like, orange with that dust storm from Canada last year? That was annoying. That was really it was freaky, because New York looked like hell. Legit looked like hell. You go outside, you couldn't breathe because the dust, it's all messed up, like a little over a couple of days. And then finally, the air quality was getting better, and then I don't think anything happened with the cell phones or anything like that. It was just bad that day. But, it's one thing after another. Weird phenomenon just happens. But, so, pretty much if you're watching TV now, you're watching CNN or Fox News, they're going to be talking about it for probably the entire weekend, amongst other shit happening in the world. With Donald Trump, in his hush money situation, the Star Witness, Mr. Cohen, is going to be talking on Monday, and could make or break Mr. Trump's case here, and, prosecution can rest by the end of next week, and then the defense is gonna, I don't know if the defense is gonna rest by the same time, or they're gonna keep going for another week or so with witnesses, and maybe Donald Trump goes on the stand. I hope not, but, they're talking about it right now. But what happened today, which was like a couple hour thing, that, that's, Stormy Daniels was talking, and, getting grilled. Not like that, but, But, yeah, Monday and next week is going to be very interesting in that case. But it's just a witch hunt to get Trump off the ballot, so Biden can probably win, or maybe Robert Kennedy Jr., who I think is just like the crutch, the wrench in this whole thing. Everybody like, oh, let's vote for Robert Kennedy. I'm like, no. It's just a witch hunt. Nobody wants Trump to be president in November. Nobody wants to vote for him because of this whole thing, and everything. Everybody thinks like Trump's gonna make it worse. I'm like, no. Hopefully, it makes everything better. But I mean, if not, then we're pretty much fucked for another 4 years with Biden reelected or Robert F. Kennedy comes in. Maybe he can change something, but I doubt it. But in any case, I don't care. We'll just have to see from day to day. And that's pretty much it. Enough about that, but I hope everybody has a great, safe weekend, and hopefully you don't lose power for a long time with this geomagnetic solar storm. Sounds like something out of Dragon Ball Z. Like Vegeta's gonna do like what he did in the early days of Dragon Ball during the Saiyan saga. It's like, I'm gonna make a big ball. Not, I should say Vegeta, but I should say Frieza. You know, with his one thing. Ooh, look what I'm gonna do. Stop that, Kakarot! What's Kakarot do? Like, oh, look at me! Look at me! Kaioken times 100! Fuck that shit, man. I bet you Goku, Kakarot, or Vegeta can stop this solar storm. We just look at the sun. Vegeta would just look at the sun and like, Son, why are you messing with Kakarot? You know, something like that. So, why are you messing with Earth? These beautiful Earthlings. I am the Prince of all Saiyans, and I order you to stop what you're doing. Imagine that. But it is what it is. Even a wrestling cat doesn't like the frickin' solar storm. Right, Zuzu? What do you think about the storm there, Zuzu? Well, she's licking her tail. Well, she doesn't care. I don't think she cares, right, Zoo? Hey, Woochie. What do you think of the solar storm, huh? What do you think? Come here, you little munchkin. What are you munchkin? Look at this little beautiful animal. Oh, yes. I think the solar storm is like the shit that comes out of my ass. It stinks. Oh, fear me. The way it is. That's why Zuzu thinks, man. She doesn't like anything. So cute, though. You're such a cutie patootie. It is, that's what it is. And, that's pretty much it. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, so just be safe this weekend from the solar storm, and that's pretty much it. And I hope you have a great weekend. That's it. Mother's Day weekend, everybody, take your mom out for lunch, buy her some flowers, get her some candy. Just go over there and be nice to your mama. And if not, you're a motherfucker. That's all I gotta say about that. But hope everybody's doing well. And that's it. Hope everybody had a great day. I had a good day, you know. But, you know, got a little bit of bad news a couple hours ago. But that's a little bit personnel, so I'm not going to talk about it. But, you know, but everything's going to be okay. That's all I got to say about that. A little bad news, but everything's going to be okay eventually. And just move on from that. Alright. Not about that bullfunky, because I told 15 minutes about some bullshit. But you watched it anyway. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, in the description box below is my AEW Dynamite thoughts and review for this past Wednesday's show down below in the gobbledygook on the Peter Joseph channel. So check it out right now or whenever you want to. But right now on this getting close to late Friday night, May the 10th, 2024, or May the 11th, 2024 if you're watching on the replay, it is time for your late and out-of-date TNA Impact Wrestling and and Ring of Honor TV reviews. For last night, May the 9th, 2024. So, another week of Ring of Honor and TNA action. And both shows were pretty decent. And we got all that. And let's talk about it. And if you want to talk about it, leave a comment down below what you guys thought of the shows if you watched it. And if not, well, okay. Alright, so we're going to start off with Ring of Honor TV episode number 63. So in 6 weeks, we'll hit 69. Haha. A great number. Next to 666, of course. The number of the beast. And we got all that. Alright, so Ring of Honor TV last night, episode 63. Pretty decent show. As we're just rolling on with Ring of Honor. I don't know when the next pay-per-view might be. Sometime in the summer, probably. For, I would assume, Death Before Dishonor. But, you know, there'll be some there might be some Ring of Honor people at Forbidden Door. So, I mean, we'll see what happens between now and the end of June. June 30th in the Nassau Mausoleum for Forbidden Door 3. So, let's see what happens with that. Alright, so, once again, we are from home base, Daly's Place, in Jacksonville, Florida. And, as always, on Thursday nights, our commentary team of Ian Riccaboni, and my good friend, well, next to Tony Schiavone, another good friend of mine, and he is the Pastor, Caprice Coleman, the man. That's a good man. Caprice Coleman is a good man. He's a good commentator, and he's also a priest. If you follow Ring of Honor back in the day, I don't know if he's actually a priest, but I know he had that priest gimmick. Not like Devon back in the day. Oh God, Pastor Devon with Deacon Batista. That was just horrible. I never liked that, what was it, Pastor Devon, or whatever it was. Father Devon. I mean, you can't say, you know, what are you going to say to Devon? You're like, Devon! Get the collection plate! Doesn't sound right. I mean, it is what it is, and that's that. Alright, let me move on with that. Alright, so we have Ian Riccaboni and Caprice Coleman on commentary. And we got that. We just going through these tapings, and pretty soon we're going to be starting the Canadian tapings. We had the tapings in Edmonton, which we'll see some of that later this month, or going into June with the Sky Blue incident. I don't know if they're going to actually show that match, but I don't think they should, because then you'll see that idiot fan harassing Sky Blue, and then O.B. Edwards has to come out and yell at the guy. And then they kick them out. The fans are yelling at the douchebag. And I hope that guy got banned for life. He's a horrible father because they had a kid next to him, or with him. I don't know, whatever it is, but just stupidity. Stupidity. And you can also watch my rant on my epic fucking rant channel. Thank you for the views for that, by the way. Still climbing up the charts right now. So, check it out on my rant channel. And I talked about it. I talked about these idiot fans that I see at some shows now and in the past. And I just talk about how wrestling fans are just hurting the business. They're marks. They're idiotic, dumb fucking marks. Or as the late great Brian Pillman once said, smart marks. But it is what it is. So we got that. So check that out on the PG Rants channel. The epic, legend, fucking-ary channel that it is. And people love it. People love my rants. They do. I'm not lying. People love my rants. That's why I average between 100 and if it goes really well, almost like 900 to up to about 3,000. Last time I hit that was years ago, but, I have a good average of a little over between 100 and sometimes 500, 300, 500, maybe up to around 1,000 to, if it gets really good, 3,000. It's pretty damn good. So, can't say my rant channel sucks, and I'm not a good ranter because I am. But people love it. Even trolls do. I'm not lying. I've had a few trolls tell me that that my rant channel is very good. I know they're probably messing with my head, but it's a fact. My rant channel is probably one of my best channels, even though it only has 474 subs. Had way more than that, but then with the YouTube sub decline, they did all that shit. I almost had 1,000 subs on my rant channel a couple years ago, but now it's like half of them went bye-bye because some of them were dead channels. And that's it. But, it is what it is, but you say I'm not successful on YouTube, I think you're wrong. Because there's some videos that, once in a while, I get a lot of likes. Even my shorts I did on my Peter Joseph channel. I have one that's over 10,000. I have some that are in the thousands. Some of them I had to put on private, but for various reasons, I'm not going to get into that, but I do have some of those shorts still up on my Peter Joseph channel. My wrestling is a sport receipt that I gave the people. My various Roman videos and The Rock telling you to off in the direction you can fuck. That video's still up. I think the shithead one is still up. But there's some other ones that I put on private. But it is what it is. I might unprivate them in a few months. Just want to keep them there, but I don't know. But some of them I deleted, which I shouldn't have, but so I lost a lot of views, but it's okay. It's okay. We move on with that. And, yeah, that's it. But check out the rant channel, and, check out those videos, and, you know why. You'll know why I am a great ranter. I'm the king of all rants. But it is what it is. I'm up there with the shooters, man. I'm up there with guys like Joe Cronin who can do some good rants. You think JD does great rants? No, I personally don't think he does great rants. He just talks out of his ass half the time, and sometimes gets him into trouble with people like Braun Strowman and Alexa Bliss and the entire IWC. He's a shill, he's a mark. He's a bitch, too. And yeah, the Braves won tonight, you got lucky. But, it is what it is. Even though Quintana pitched like shit tonight. That's what he does. Him and Hauser need to go. They are horrible. We can't get rid of them until Senga comes back, which probably won't be till June or July. Unless we bring up, we bring up a guy like McGill or Peterson, and then put Quintana, get rid of him, or put him in the bullpen with Hauser. And really, Hauser was a mistake to get from Milwaukee, or Milwaukee, which means the good land. But get him out. Hauser and Quintana are basically loans, and we're just gonna get rid of them anyway. Just get rid of them now or at the trade deadline. But by that time, the Mets are gone anyway. But where they're playing right now, I mean, they're a 500 team, if you can believe that. 37 games in, they're 18 and 19. So many games back of the Braves, but I mean, do we really care right now? No. It's May the 11th. Do we care? No. I'll care pretty much by the All-Star break. If the Mets can maybe fight for a second or third wildcard spot, and if Uncle Stevie, makes a deal, but I don't know. I mean, he didn't make one last year, and he should have. He made stupid deals like Verlander go bye-bye, Scherzer go bye-bye. Then we get Vogel fuck, the big hoagie himself, who's sadly now on the injured list because he hurt his leg. Sucks to be you. But I mean, it is what it is. And then you look at the Yankees, and they're good. They're doing good, but they can't beat the Orioles to save their life. They took 2 or 3 from Houston earlier this week, a couple of days ago. I don't even know they played tonight. I really don't care. But I mean, it is what it is. That's pretty much it. And hey, how about those Knicks tonight? Knicks are not so good now, are we? Lost by 4 tonight to the Pacers. So now the series is going to Game 4 in Indiana on Sunday. Knicks still lead the series 2-1. And we'll see what happens Sunday with the Knicks and the Pacers. But I mean, yeah, Brunson played. That's nice. It was a competitive game, but Pacers pulled it out. That's what she said. But anyway, we got that. And if you're a Boston Bruins fan, I have one thing to say to you. Ha ha! What are you laying at tonight? Holy shit, the freaking Panthers blew the fucking... It was nuts tonight. Craziness. With the Bruins just barely didn't even show up tonight. It was bad. So Florida won, goes up 2-1. Game 4 on Sunday in Florida. So that series at least is going 5. 5, maybe 6, maybe 7. But we'll see what happens with that. But tomorrow night in Raleigh, Game 4, Rangers looking to make Raleigh a cleaner place than it already is, and a back-to-back sweep. We'll see what happens with that. They go 8-0 in the playoffs. And then they got a load of time before the start of the Eastern Conference Finals, Game 1 at the Garden. When? Whenever Boston and Florida end their series. It could end on Tuesday. It could end on Thursday. It could end next Saturday. So that means I would assume that right before, the week before Memorial Day, the Rangers will be playing Game 1, maybe next Sunday, the 19th, or somewhere around the 20th or 22nd at the Garden. And then we'll see what happens with that. A lot of people saying Florida's going to beat the Rangers. We'll see. We'll see. The way that Florida's playing right now, I mean, if they kicked the way they played the last 2 games, really the last 3 games, really. They should be up 3-0 like the Rangers are, but Boston had a good Game 1. Game 2 and 3, they stunk. And I'm being generous as a hockey fan saying that. Bruins are just getting outmatched. It feels like not even deja vu right now, but Florida's got Boston's number ever since last season when they were down 3-0 to none, and what happened? Well, the freaking Bruins pulled the 2022 New York Rangers basically and choked it and lost it in Game 7. And Florida went to the finals and lost. I forget to who, but it is what it is. But we got that, So I know how you feel, Boston. You had a 3-0 lead and choked it. I know, the Rangers had a 3-0 lead on Tampa Bay in 2022 and choked all 4 games. And really, they had a couple of those games in hand, and they just didn't bother showing up. And then Tampa Bay went on to the Stanley Cup Finals, won the finals for their second or third cup. But I mean, it is what it is. So anything can happen in the NHL and in the playoffs. But tomorrow should be a good game in Raleigh. Rangers looking to put it to bed, and then get like about a week or so off before the East Finals, and they just have to wait for Boston or Florida to basically beat the crap out of each other for the next how many games? I mean, Game 4 is on Sunday in Florida, and we'll see what happens with that. But tomorrow night, I am in Rangers mode tomorrow night. I'm not even going to care that much for Rampage and Collision live tomorrow night. Even if hopefully I have power to watch it, but we'll see. We'll see. It's 2 o'clock right now, so I don't know. The peak is going to be happening in the next couple of hours, but hopefully this weekend, if we do get a brownout or a blackout, hopefully it doesn't last too long, but, at least the cell tower's got backup generators. I mean, we're kind of ready, so cell phones might act up a little bit. Wi-Fi, the internet might go in and out. So, just, hopefully you can find out what's going on, and then, or just, if you lose power, you got nothing to do, make a sandwich, or do something at least to buy the time. Or just take a long-ass nap, and hopefully by the time you get back up, you have power and internet, so you can find out what happened. But we'll see what happens with that. All right, I talked way more than enough. All right, let's get into Ring of Honor. Where's my notes? There it is. Okay, here we go. All right, so we start Ring of Honor off with the Undisputed Kingdom. Well, minus a certain guy named Adam Cole, baby. By the way, Adam Cole chugs, if you watch him on Twitch, 850th stream earlier today, playing OG Final Fantasy IX, probably one of the greatest games ever, next to Final Fantasy VII, the remake, OG and the remakes, that's been the last 2 games that came out, But in my top 10, I put Final Fantasy IX above OG/Remake 7. I mean, Rebirth is amazing. And the DLC for Final Fantasy 16, I gotta put 16 at number 3 now. Because 16 is great. The DLC, The Rising Tide, just came out. Holy shit! That final boss fight with Leviathan, oh! That take you days to fucking beat. That is crazy! That boss fight really should have been the end of the game for Final Fantasy 16, not as a downloadable content almost ultimate final boss. Oh, God damn, Leviathan, he has like 4 or 5 phases, and it's just insane. And if he hits you with Tidal Wave, it is over. But you have to, really stagger Leviathan. You have to use your icons, and you gotta be smart. But I have the game, and It took me 20 tries to finally beat the game. But that downloadable content. And it's not over because that's not the end of the game. You don't go to the credits and after, anything. There's some side quests you have to do. Which I'm still kind of finishing up, but it is what it is. I mean, that game is just amazing. 9, what can I say about 9? I hope they remake that like they remade 7. Or, I don't want to remaster, because I think remastering, like, they remastered 8, which really wasn't anything. They just remastered it and made it look good for PlayStation 4. But I want a remake of Final Fantasy 9 with some extra stuff in it, like what they did with Final Fantasy 7. And you have to break that up into parts because it's a 4-disc game, like Final Fantasy, well, unlike Final Fantasy 7, which is a 3-disc game. But Rebirth is basically the end of Disc 1 going into Disc 2. So, the final game, which is, I don't think is coming out in about a year or so, that's basically the, Disc 2 and most of Disc 3, which is the end game. So, we're definitely gonna see a new Sephiroth and shit. If you played Rebirth, you know what I'm talking about near the end of that game. Oh, that fight is just... That fight is more insane than Leviathan's fight in the Rising Tide DLC of Final Fantasy 16. Crazy! That's why I love JRPGs, and I love Final Fantasy with a passion. I don't have all the games, I wish I did, but then I have to get, like, all the games from the Game Boy Advance and Game Boy, Game Boy, Nintendo, I don't know if there's anything on the Switch, but, Nintendo 2DS, 3DS, had to get the pixel versions of Final Fantasy 4. It's just, there's a lot of Final Fantasy games, and spin-offs. It's insane. But, I mean, I have pretty much all the in the series, minus the Final Fantasy 11, Final Fantasy 14, which is the MMOs. I don't get that shit. But I have every Final Fantasy game from 1 all the way up to 16. It's like minus 11 and 14. And even some of the spin-offs that came out of that. X2, I have Final Fantasy 7, 12, both versions. The original and the Zodiac Age, which makes the same game, but a little bit updated. I have Final Fantasy 13-2, Lightning Returns, Crisis Core. I have that. I have the game where you Crisis Core, I think it is. Where you play as Vincent. That's amazing. I have Advent Children. I have everything, man. All the side stuff that's been out on PlayStation. Most of it, I have basically all of it. I can't wait till they make Final Fantasy 17, whenever they make that. Probably won't be for another 5 years, because they gotta get through Rebirth, and the final game in Final Fantasy 7 remake. That whole series, they gotta finish that. Then I don't know if they're gonna go right into doing Final Fantasy 17, or they might do another remake, like 9, or maybe 6. That would be great to see Kefka remade. I mean, Sephiroth looks great in Final Fantasy 7. The first two games and Interlude. You can only imagine what Kefka's gonna look like in a remake. An updated PlayStation 5 remake. And even all the characters in Final Fantasy 9 gonna look epic. And if they add more stuff to both games, Final Fantasy 6 and not really 9, I don't know what you can add to that. Maybe more abilities, more ultimate weapons, more downloadable content that's not even in the game. You know, do something with the card with the card game. Maybe have new cards. I don't know. We should have remade 8 with Triple Triad. That would have been epic as like a DLC side thing or something like that. That would be cool. Maybe there's the final boss is Ultimecia. They could have had maybe a super ultimate boss after that. Like who's ultimate than that? I don't know. Maybe it's like a new phase or something of Ultimecia near the end. After you beat her, there's another phase. It's not over yet. But we get that. But I can't wait for the next Final Fantasy game in the Final Fantasy VII remake series, and then we'll see what happens with that when the Final Fantasy Kingdom, if you will. Speaking of the Kingdom, let's get back to wrestling. And the Undisputed Kingdom, they're not pleased with Angelo Parker and Daddy Magic, Matt Maynard. Do you really want to know what makes Daddy Magic's nipples hard? You can ask him on his podcast and on YouTube. So get that. So they're pissed off with them suggesting that they're coming for the tag team belts. We heard that last week. And Matt Taven, I'm Matt Taven, referred to them as Melvins. And if you don't like Matt Taven, you're a Melvin. Along with Michael Kanellis-Bennett and, or just them. I don't think we saw Gotti! You know, the, Intercontinental Champion. Anyway, so, Taven calls them Melvins, and then Michael Kanellis-Bennett says he prays that Parker is a better dad than he is a wrestler. Ooh. Well, we don't know. We won't know for another 9 months when Ruby Soho pops out that kid. So, once again, congratulations to Ruby Soho and Angelo Parker. See what happens with that and when that match might be. So, 2.0 taking on the Kingdom coming up pretty soon on Ring of Honor TV or Ring of Honor pay-per-view. And we'll see what happens with that. Alright, so I give that 2.25 out of 5 stars to start the show. Then we run down the card. And that's it. Alright, match number 1 on your scorecard on the program. A 6-woman tag team match player. We had La Rara Loca, Taya Valkyrie, teaming up with the Puerto Rican hotties, Mercedes Martinez and Diamante. They take on Legit Layla Hirsch, Lady Frost, and I don't know. This is the weirdest six-woman trio, if you will. This trio is kind of weird. You have Legit Layla Hirsch, you have Lady Frost, and then you have my girl over there, Abaddon. So kind of a weird trio, but we get that. So it's also with Taya Valkyrie and Lady Frost. They know each other pretty well. And Lady Frost snaps off a head scissors and then brings in my girl Abaddon. And then Taya's like, ah! Scared. You scaredy bitch. Well, yeah, Abaddon is scary looking, but not to me, of course. But that's my girl, you know. It's my demon friend. And Rosemary's arch nemesis. And if you ever meet Rosemary, you tell her that. And we move on. Alright. Because they are part of the prophecy. The reason why the prophecy lives. It is what it is. Speaking of the prophecy, if you saw the QR code tonight from Uncle Howdy, oh, they mentioned the prophecy. You gotta love it. See, Uncle Howdy even knows about the prophecy, too. And Bray Wyatt. The man upstairs, a great man that he is. Can't wait for that. I think Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Six are going to debut probably a king and queen of the ring, or maybe on SmackDown or Raw. Well, maybe in Scotland. That would be really dumb, but it's better, you know. It's either gonna be Saudi Arabia or it's gonna be at Clash of the Castle. Then again, who knows at this point? But those QR codes, we saw a couple of them tonight. They led to those videos talk about prophecies, as you know, stuff like that. All right, so we get that. All right, so Diamante comes in, gets elbowed in the face, and then Mercedes Martinez tries her luck against Abaddon. And, you know, they slug it out. Then we get a fast 2 count by Mercedes Martinez. Abaddon then bites her. We got a biter! Hey, Abaddon can bite me any day. But I digress. She bites her way to freedom, and then gets to tag the legit Layla Hirsch, as we get some fast tags. Then a cheap shot from the apron lets the heels take over on Layla Hirsch, which sets up Taya's running shotgun knees in the corner. And then Taya puts Layla Hirsch on the top turnbuckle, but she manages a quick spinning German suplex of all things to separate them, get some freedom. Then a rolling tag brings in Lady Frost to clean house, and then all six women are in the ring. Abaddon hits a flippy dippity-doo, which you rarely see. Rarely you see that from Abaddon, because she's, you know, evil. So she hits that on the floor, and then Lady Frost goes up top, but takes a little bit too long, going for her finisher, I think Frostbite. Excuse me, I had something in my mouth, something in my teeth. But anyway, so, takes too long, and then it's a sunset flip bomb by Diamante to get the win for her team in under 8.5 minutes. Match was decent, and I gave it 2.5 out of 5 stars. And that's pretty much it. Great to see my girl Abaddon on TV. That's all I gotta say about that. But did not factor into the win. And that's it. We move on. Alright. Match number 2, the Tony Khan special begins, you know, with squash matches. So we have the Ring of Honor debut of Anthony Ogogo of Shane Taylor Promotions. Shane Taylor, the big man, he's out there with him. He takes on Ziggy Dice. I think we all know who he is. Pretty much, this match lasted under 2 minutes. 2 minutes! And, really, Ziggy Dice, all he did was grab a headlock, gets knocked down quickly, and then Ogogo kicks him right in the dome, right in the head, and a big right hand for basically knocked him the fuck out. So basically a TKO at 143. Knocked him out. Match gave 2.25 out of 5 stars. And then after the match, he does an interview, I think with Lexi Nair. Talks about how, I have to say the word, awesome he is. He's not as awesome as me! Mike is late. I know, but you said awesome. You said my name. I didn't say your name, your full name. I'm just saying, I was reading off the copy. I know, but when you say awesome, you know, I have to come in because I think you're talking about me. Because you know I'm awesome. I know, Mike. I know you're a Hall of Famer. But it is what it is. You should be in the Hall of Fame. But, you know, everybody is not as awesome as you. Okay, Mike? Yeah, I know, because I'm awesome. I could kick these guys' ass if I wanted to. But, oh yeah, I forgot this goddamn Halo! Fuck! Alright, Mike, calm down. Go tell God to stop this geomagnetic, storm that's happening this weekend, because we don't want to lose power. We want to talk to you this weekend, you know? We want to have some fun. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you want to say goodbye? Alright, bye! Okay, get out of here. Oh, yeah, that guy. Satire, my friends. Satire and great fucking epic fucking impressions. And if you don't like it, fuck you! Michael also will come down from heaven and put you to a flaming table. She's awesome. Let me move on. Alright, so Agogo talks about how great he is and lists off his boxing accomplishments. Not that we need to know that. We can just go on Google and find that. Just Google it. Exactly. Even Zuzu hates that fucking guy. She hates everything. But we move on. Alright, so we got that. Alright, after that, we go to Rachel Ellering. We haven't seen her in a while on Ring of Honor TV. She smells desperation in the air. You know what I smell? I smell Hogan. What's that smell? Skittles! Princess candies! Okay. Calm down, Jim Hellwig. You moron, you creepy bastard, you know. The ultimate warrior! Anyway, so she smells desperation in the air. She's still going on to this thing with Maria Kanellis Bennett. It's been like on and off for months, you know, with legit later her involved months ago. And so she smells desperation in the air, thinks it could go somewhere, you know, like that way. Or that way. And then Maria Kanellis Bennett comes in, the so-called First Lady of Professional Wrestling. You're not. That's Miss Elizabeth. Right, Miss Elizabeth? That's right, Mr. Gilmore. I mean, Joseph. Just get it right next time. Anyway. So Maria comes in, starts mocking Rachel Ellering for her losses as of late. But then she realizes women's wrestling doesn't sell tickets. Oh, well, you're right. But Rachel doesn't sell anything. She is the daughter of Precious Paul Ellering. She's done pretty well for herself on the indie scene, I think, there, Maria. What have you been watching lately? But then you realize that women's wrestling doesn't sell tickets? What planet are you on? Women's wrestling has been pretty good so far in the last couple of years, I think. You know, you got girls like, you got beautiful women like Tiffany Stratton, Daddy! You know, you got Mercedes Moné, you got Asuka, Kairi, Io, I mean, you got some great women in AEW too, like Deonna Purrazzo, Toni Storm, Mariah May. They bring over Mina Shirakawa, my one hot piece of Asian ass. You know, they have a union now with Stardom. We're gonna see Stardom at Forbidden Door. Oh, give me Mercedes Moné against Mina. That would be epic. Or Mercedes versus Miyu Iwatani. Anyone from New Japan? The IWGP Women's Champion. Mercedes versus Azumi. Mercedes versus the other Miyu. Miyu Yamashita. Oh, that chick with that evil stare. You know the one I'm talking about. The death stare. But they got Mai Segura from Stardom. That was on the Ring of Honor. The last. What was she on? It's on the last pay-per-view, I believe. We got that. Yeah, I think it was... No, Supercard, I'm sorry. She was on Supercard with Mina. So, not OG... No, Club Venus was a different version that's in Japan right now. But... we had all that, and just... great shit. But, Maria, you're saying that women's wrestling doesn't sell tickets? Mm-hmm. I think I don't know what's wrong with you. I don't know what planet you're on. Maybe it's your anus because it's so dark. That's what your mind is, dark. like your anus. Have you seen your anus lately? It's dark. I wonder if Mike Kanellis Bennett probably can't find it either, but I digress. I'm kidding. But we get that. But women's wrestling is just doing amazing shit right now. Good shit. Especially Japan, where they had the match of the year in women's wrestling in Japan. Miyu Iwatani and Sarai, of all people, little schoolgirl Sarai, had the match of the year for the women in New Japan. Not in Stardom, I'm saying New Japan. And pretty much, well, not overall women's wrestling, because I think there's been a couple of good bangers like this year with AEW and even WWE and NXT too. But that one, I would think that's in my top 5. But I mean, got a long way to go with women's wrestling this year. So, but saying that women's wrestling doesn't sell tickets, Maria, you need your head examined. But I digress. Alright, move on with that. Alright, so I give that 2.25 out of 5 stars. We move on. Then we go to another women's match. The Lady on Fire, Kiera Hogan, period, takes on my girl Ashley D. Ambosi, coming back to Ring of Honor. Looking amazingly hot. It was a good match. It's also with Kiera taking her down to start, runs into a power slam for a near fall. And then Ashley hits a suplex, and then starts dancey. We're gonna twerk! No, I don't know if she twerked, but she was dancing a little bit. Made my dick hard. But anyway, I mean, Mina can dance. Mina Shirakawa can dance and shake her titties all... I would like to see her have a dance-off. Well, I don't know if she can win that, but Mina and Lola Vice having a dance-off. I think you bring in Kiera Hogan for a twerk-off with somebody, I guess. I mean, yeah. Let's see a lot more dancing. And then you have Asuka going... Not the Emma thing, but, you know. I don't think that's appropriate when she does it in the ring. I'm like, what are you doing? You have the face paint, you look like the Joker. I mean, supposed to be evil. Yeah, Asuka, goddammit. You know, I hope she gets better, but for her, I don't know what injury that she has. I think it's her knee, her leg. So she's gonna be out for a little while. Don't know when she's coming back. So damage control pretty much is damaged right now. It's just basically Dakota Kai and Kairi, and they can go after the women's tag team belts until Asuka comes back. But, yeah, let's see what happens with that. Alright, so Ashley starts dancing, goes for a charge in the corner and missed, gets fruit rolled up for another near fall, and then Kiera Hogan with a middle rope drop kick and then a baseball slide, safe, into the corner for another near fall. And then she kicks Ashley in her titties, and then sets up Face the Music to beat her, damn it, in just under 5.5 minutes. And the match was okay, 2.25 out of 5 stars, and that's it. So Kiera Hogan gets another win, and we move on with that. Alright, then we go to the back with Lexi Nair, and, well, we can't say Captain Caveman anymore. Well, the guy doesn't have a big old beard. Looks like a caveman. Nick Camarado. He's in the back and praises Jacoby Watts. You know, the guy looks like a cowboy. He praises him. He comes in and asks us to join him on his crusade. Crusade of what? Infinity Crusade? No, not that. That's it. I still don't know much about this Jacoby Watts guy because I missed a couple of episodes of Ring of Honor, so I had to catch up. So I'm still kind of learning about him. But I think he's like a ripoff or Colonel Rob Parker from WCW. Remember that guy? You remember him. Some of you do, some of you don't. It is what it is. Alright, so I gave that 2.25 out of 5 stars, and that's it. After that, we go to another Tony Khan special squash match of the night. Lance Archer, everybody dies! And the Righteous of Dutch and Vincent take on a bunch of jobbers named Nikki 8. What happened to the other 7? 6? What happened to 7? Just kidding. Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you. So we have Nikki 8, Parker Lee, and Tommy Mars. Tommy Mars looks like probably is Mick Mars from Motley Crue's adopted brother or something like that. I don't know if he has the hair down to his ass and plays loudest, fastest rock and roll. He could, but it was like Tommy Lee and Mick Mars had a baby. And it came out Tommy Mars. Why not? And then Parker Lee sounds like Trevor Lee's lost cousin. You know, Mr. Kylie Grimes. And then, you know, Nikki 8, maybe like a resident, I don't know what he is. He was a distant cousin of Sid from Final Fantasy lore. I don't even know how many Sids there have been in those games. There's been a lot of Final Fantasy games, but the main series, there have been 16. 16 Sids, good lord. I need to find his father and his mom, like damn. Pop them out. Sid, you know, Sid number 1, they have a kid. Sid number 2, then next thing you know, they have 8 more kids. And then those kids grow up and then you have kids, and then here's another Sid. Sid 11, Sid 12, Sid 13, Sid 15, 16. Pretty much next game we're gonna be Sid 17. Sid the 17th! I don't know, these people come up with these names, they're just ridiculously weird. But anyway, long story short, the Righteous and Lance Archer get another dominant win with Orange Sunshine. That sets up the Blackout for a double pin in 72 seconds. Bing bang boom, good night, 2 out of 5 stars. Let me move on. Alright, then I think this... No, I thought it was the main event, well it's not. Get to our next match, a non-title Proving Ground match. We have the new Ring of Honor Women's TV Champion, another one of my girls, Billy Starks. Well, not with Athena or Lexi there. Well, she takes on Dream Girl Ellie in a 10-minute time limit non-Proving Ground match. If Dream Girl Ellie gets the win, or lasts the 10-minute time limit, she gets a future title shot. Well, this match lasted 4 minutes. And really, Ellie did a little bit, powers her into the corner to start. We get a clean break, which we rarely see these days. Billy, takes her to the corner, we get a clean break. Well, minus the clean part. Then a big old, woo, chop against the rope, sets up a kick to Ellie's back, ow. But then she knocks Billy to the outside, and then we get a neck snap across the top. What are you, Serena Deeb? That's a Serena Deeb move. So we get that, and then Billy comes back, stomps away with a little more aggression, because she is pissed. And then she ties up Green Girl Ellie in the tree of woo for more stomping. Follows it up with a fireman's carry neck breaker. Interesting. And gets the pin in exactly 4 minutes. So that's probably pretty much it. So I gave it 2.25 out of 5 stars, and that's it. So the champ goes on. And we will move on with that. Alright, then we go to the back. We have the premier athletes, Tony Nese and Ari Daivari and Josh the Goods Woods. They're there with Smart Mark Sterling. They want some competition and the tag team belts. Whether they're a trio, they can go for the trios tag team belts too. But they want the tag team belts first, I guess. So the Kingdom, you got some competition too. Not only did you got 2.0, now you got the premier athletes breathing down your neck. But we'll see what happens with that. Alright, so I give that 2.25 out of 5 stars. And then after that, we go to a tag team match player. We have Griff Garrison and Two Dimes, Cole Carter, along with Maria Kanellis Bennett at ringside. They take on the Spanish Announce Project of Serpentico and Angelico. Angelico coming back from, I don't know where he was. I think he got injured. It was a decent match, nothing great. They start out on the ramp with a big-time brawl. And then the SAP take over on Griff Garrison to officially start the match. We get a suplex neckbreaker combo for a near fall. And then a swinging downward spiral drops Griff Garrison again. And then Maria does what she does best, gets on the apron. She's like, look at me, look at my big fat ass and my big titties. And then Serpentico's like, ooh, I'm mesmerized by big titties. And then Cole Carter trips Serpentico from the floor to take over. And then Griff Garrison comes back in, hits a sidewalk slam for a near fall. And he starts mocking Angelico's dance. I don't know what kind of dance he does, like, one of those hip-hop dances. So more dancing. This ain't Dance Fever with Adrian Smed back in the late 80s, early 90s. Anyway, Serpentico elbows his way out of trouble, kicks Griff Garrison away, gets the hot tag to Angelico, comes in, hits a bunch of kicks to the head to drop Griff Garrison for a near fall, and then all four men are in the ring. And eventually, Angelico, with a fruit roll-up on Cole Carter, 1, 2, 3, in just under 6.5 minutes, they get the win. And we move on with that. So the match was So I gave it 2.25 out of 5 stars. Afterwards, Maria throws Serpentico's mask back to him. But then Griff Garrison and Cole Carter jump both men, send Serpentico into a steel chair. Ow. And then Maria takes the mask back to end the show. This fucking storyline and feud is still going on? When is it gonna end, and how is it gonna end? Is Serpentico eventually gonna get his mask back? I mean, he didn't have the mask on. This feud has been going on for 6 months! And I don't even care about it! Why are we still doing it for 6 months? Oh, because, Tony Khan's like, oh, this feels just great! Oh, of course, right, Tony Khan? You smoking that, weed? Not weed, I mean cocaine? Just snorting that cocaine? You're at the production meetings? I'm gonna have Serpentico and Angelico have a 7 to 8 to 1 year feud with, Griff Garrison, Maria Kanellis, Bennett, and Cole Carter. Is never gonna end. Sniffing another lot of coke. Can we just end this, please, for the love of fucking God? It's annoying. 6 months. And a dinky, boring feud. I mean, yeah, the Bloodline storyline has been went on for 3.5 months. It's still going on now. Now with the new Bloodline, with Solo Mibuki kind of running the ship now, per the orders of the Tribal Chief, as we saw on SmackDown, trying to, and it's like, talking about, trying to get the wise man. My name is Paul Heyman on his side. It's like, yeah, I'm running things while Roman's off on the island of relevancy. I run the show. I'm making the decisions around here. I brought in, Tama Tonga and Tonga Lioa, but we all know that's The Rock. It eventually be leaked out that Roman will come back like, I never talked to the wise man. I never gave you the order, Solo. Roman's gonna come back, And then the whole Bloodline Civil War starts up. And at WrestleMania 41, it's going to be Solo versus Roman. And Roman's going to whip the crap out of him. You just have to get there. Eventually. We have to get through War Games, because you know that's going to happen. And then you're going to have some dream matches. Roman versus Solo, which I thought was going to happen a year or so ago. That's going to happen. We got Cody and The Rock for title for the People's title and the Undisputed WWE title. We're going to probably have that. And then another dream match, the Guerrillas of Destiny versus the Usos, probably for the SmackDown Tag Team belts. That would be freaking epic, and I hope the Usos win to get the belts back for the 11th or 12th time. I think the 11th or 12th time champs. I think I lost count, but I think Roman's OG bloodline is gonna whip the living crap out of Solo or whoever is gonna be running that, which will probably be The Rock. You know, we got that, and I think the only way to end that whole feud, the whole Civil War feud, besides that War Games, is that, well, can't happen at WrestleMania 41, unless, you know, I think it's going to be afterwards, like a Backlash, or maybe by SummerSlam next year, where Roman and The Rock finally meet one-on-one, which could be for the title, which could be not for the title. We'll see what happens with that. But this particular storyline in Ring of Honor needs to fucking end, and it needs to end quick, because I'm getting sick of it. I think other people that watch Ring of Honor are pretty much sick of this too. And that's it. And that pretty much ends Ring of Honor TV. And that's it. Alright, so Ring of Honor I gave 6.5 out of 10 stars. You know, some of the matches, there was like maybe a match or two that were pretty decent, but other than that, it felt like a normal show. Like a house show. But we got all that. Alright, we're done with that. Alright, now let's switch over to and cross the line with TNA Impact Wrestling for this past Thursday night as well. This is the aftermath of Under Siege, which happened last weekend. And, we get that, and, we will move on with that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with all that. And we move on. Alright, now my computer decides to take a dump. When I'm loading up my next set of notes. I don't have them together. I have them in different sections. Different files. So I have to load the file again. So hopefully I can get this up and see what happens with that, so I don't have to run and get my phone, because it's charging right now, because I gotta charge it, just in case, you know, the solar flare, the solar storm hits and lose power. But right now it's almost 3 o'clock, and pretty much nothing yet, but that can change, we'll see. Alright, let's really quickly get to TNA Impact Wrestling for this week, and Impact was from the Albany Armory in Albany, New York, and our commentary team, as always, Matthew Waywald, otherwise known as Aiden English, and Tom Phillips, otherwise known as Tom Hannafin. Alright, so, like I said, coming off of Under Siege, pretty decent main event. We had the System come out on top in a 6-man tag team match with Matt Hardy and Speedball Mountain of Trent Seven and Speedball Mike Bailey. So that. We're gonna be seeing Broken Matt Hardy. Yes, wonderful. Delete. Challenging for the world title. Maybe at Slammiversary coming up in July. I think that's in Canada. I think it's in Montreal. We'll get that, but that's like 2 months in advance. But we got that, so we're kind of building towards that. We got Against All Odds coming up sometime, I think it's in a couple weeks or in June. And maybe, I think we got one more event before we get to Slammiversary, the 22nd year anniversary. 22 years of Impact. Wow. Same thing with Ring of Honor, too, because they came around the same time, 2002. 2001, but it's 2002 for people, but we get that. So, we'll see what happens with both promotions as we keep going. We're going to pretty much hit the 25-year anniversary of Ring of Honor and TNA. Crazy, isn't it? Well, TNA, we didn't think they would last 25 goddamn years. WWE's getting close to 75 years. At least. I don't even know that. I think it's getting close to around 75. I think they started in the 50s. Or actually, I don't know the exact date, but I think it's getting close to around 70, 75 years. That's kind of a big thing for WWE when they hit their 75th year anniversary. 41 years of, almost 41 years of WrestleMania. Pretty soon, about 10 years from now, we'll have WrestleMania 50, hopefully at the Garden, but not going to be the Garden, it's going to be outside. So, I don't know where you can do that. You can't, I mean, if it's WrestleMania 50, as much as I would like to have it in the Northeast, like in New York, maybe in 10 years we'll have a domed stadium in New York. Or you put it, maybe you could, well, I don't know if you could put it in, you have to put it in Jersey because it's the only place you have a dome right now. And that's where the Red Bulls play, the soccer team. Because if you can't do it outside because you run the risk of cold weather, like in Philly. I don't know where, unless they don't do it in New York. Or they do it, New York might get something in, I doubt it, we're not, per Nick Khan, we're not going to get a Northeast WrestleMania for a long time. So, I don't know where WrestleMania 50 could be. Maybe Vegas, maybe overseas, hey, maybe WrestleMania 50 in Japan. Imagine that. That'd be good. But then we have the time difference. I'm like, what the fuck? The time and day difference. WrestleMania starting at 3 o'clock in the morning. Like watching the G1. Or Wrestle Kingdom. That'll be weird. That'll be an interesting, if WrestleMania does a premium live event. Or like one of the big four in Japan. You think anybody's gonna wait up until like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning to watch WrestleMania from Japan? So, I mean, we'll have 2 WrestleManias. Wrestle Kingdom is New Japan's WrestleMania, is Wrestle Kingdom. And then you get a second one this time for the WWE. Over 2 days. So basically you feel like, New Japan, Wrestle Kingdom night 1, night 2. But I highly doubt that WrestleMania will ever come to Japan, but you never know. A premium live event? Yeah, I can see that. They already had Beast in the East a few years ago for NXT. That epic match with Kevin Steen and Finn Balor in that ladder match. And then Brock Lesnar, I forgot who he faced a New Day, I think. Beat the fuck out of them. But, yeah. We might see a premium live event. I doubt we'll see, maybe SummerSlam. Maybe it's, I doubt the Survivor Series. I doubt the Royal Rumble. And I just don't think I don't think WrestleMania. If anything, I would probably say Survivor Series in Japan. Because you're coming off the G1, you have to do it late August for that. Because you can't have a conflict and you have the G1 at the same weekend as freaking SummerSlam. That'll be just not good. Or can't even do it early because the G1 starts in the middle of July and goes through, I think, around, goes through, like, the first couple weeks of August. So you have to really do it at the end of August. Right? I would just do SummerSlam in Japan the same weekend, the same weekend as All In, whatever that's going to be. Do something like that. But, I don't know. We'll see. Alright, so, we're building up the Slammiversary. We got that. And, we start up with the opening sequence. Well, before that, we get the long Under Siege recap. Then we got the opening sequence. Then we start up properly with the System. They all come out. Moose, the TNA champion. Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards, the tag team champions. Along with Alicia Edwards as well. But, so they come out. Everybody comes out with their belts. And then the Albany Arena Football League, their cheerleaders come out. Hey, cheerleaders. I like this. I like that. So, they come out. They have a big old celebration for what they did at Under Siege. Brian Myers brags about everyone on the team being a champion, says they don't have enough time in the show to list off all their accomplishments. There's a lot with all three people, not so much Alicia Edwards, but Moose talks about being better than the 90s Bulls. Really? Really? No, don't even go there. There, Moose. Don't even go with the Jordan years. I don't think so. All four of you combined are better than the 90s Bulls? That dynasty? Ha! You wish. Not even better than the Knicks in the 90s. Oops. But I digress. Anyway, so speaking of Alicia Edwards, she has a video on the team, but then Broken Matt Hardy, yes, he comes out, breaks things up, and he's here to break the System, but now he understands them a little bit better. This is not over, because it is just the beginning, and he wants to see Moose's Super Bowl ring, so he did play for the Falcons, I think, and calls Alicia Edwards a snow witch. Look who's talking. I mean, look who you married to. You're married to a goth witch who doesn't close her mouth or her legs, because her legs and her mouth are open like a 24/7 7-Eleven. Right, Rebecca Hardy? Yeah, that's right. If you want it, you can get it at a 7-Eleven. Budget cheese. Hey, if you want it, you can get it in Raleigh, North Carolina, where they live, or South Carolina, whatever the Hardy compound is. But I digress. Anyway, so that sets off Eddie Edwards. We got a big old fight. Big old, 3-on-1 beatdown. Matt fights him up with a chair, momentarily. Then it's a 3-on-1 beatdown. And then Ryan, the younger brother of Dolph Ziggler, Ryan Nemeth, not Nick because he's injured, or something with him, of all people, comes in, makes a save with a kendo stick, and then we see the cheerleaders go, delete! I'm like, what? That was weird. Right, everything looked good, but then Matt Hardy's there. Nothing wrong with Matt Hardy, of course, but the segment was okay. It was good. 3.25 out of 5 stars. It's just weird having Ryan Nemeth and not Dolph Ziggler or, Nick Nemeth there. So maybe he comes back and they do like a 6-person tag, another 6-person tag. But, well, look, how did that work out for you at Under Siege there, Matt Hardy? Didn't work so well, did it? No. But we'll see what happens with that. Alright, after that, we got to look at Mustafa Ali beating Ace Austin at Under Siege to retain his X Division title. So let's see what he goes. Next, I move on. Then we have ABC, Chris Bay and Ace Austin. They're ready to face Speedball Mountain and the winners face each other for a future X Division title shot. Interesting. So really, both guys like each other, so there's no tension. So whoever wins, it's just sportsmanship. May the best man win. I'd love to see Chris Bay and Ace Austin go at it. I'd love to see that. And then, same thing with Speedball Mike Bailey and Trent Seven. Could be a good match. We'll see what happens with that. But we'll talk about that later. So 2.25 out of 5 stars for that. Alright, then we get the system in the back. They're yelling at Santino Marella about what just happened earlier with Matt Hardy and Ryan Nemeth. But Santino says, I have an announcement that is going to help them. See what happens with that. Alright, so I gave that 2.25 out of 5 stars. Alright, then we finally go to our next match. Tag team match player. We have the FBI of Clayton and Jazz. No, not that Jazz. It's not all about that Jazz. Huh? Exactly. With Little Guido Maritano at ringside. Hey, where's Sally? Where's Sally Graziano? Is he at the pizza shop eating pizza? I don't know. Where's my pizza? Sorry, idiot. He's fat! Well, actually, not so much now, because I've seen pictures. He's not that fat anymore. He lost a ton of weight. I guess he laid out the pepperoni pizza. I don't know. But anyway. So they're taking on First Class of Rick Swan, the man that goes all night long, and Flop Dollar, AJ Francis, the man who should be fired. Can you please get fired? Pretty much. 3.5 minutes suckfest. Did I say 3.5 minutes suckfest? So it's also with Clayton suplexing Rick Swan down to start. Scores with a T-bone suplex, sending Rick Swan flying. And then Flop Dollar, AJ Francis comes in, runs over everybody, allowing him to choke Clayton on the ropes. Then a double clothesline puts both of the faces down. And then we get the double hot tag to bring in Jazz and Swan. And Jazz cleans house. And then all 4 men are in the ring. Eventually, AJ Francis chokeslams Jazz. And then Rick Swan goes up top, hits the frog splash. And they get the pin. And that's it. Let me move on. Did somebody say frog splash? I say. Oh, Eddie. Yeah, Rick Swan did a frog splash. Not as good as you, though. I know, because I do the frog splash. Great essay, Pedal. Nobody can do it better than me, Pedal. Why is these pendejos doing my move? Got me. Anyway, good night, Eddie. Oh, good night, Mr. Joseph. You have a great night. Okay. I'm gonna go have a sangria with China. Okay, go. We're gonna move on. Alright, so I gave that match 2.5 out of 5 stars, and that's pretty much it. And, really, nothing from, Mr. Say his name, and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. Tokyo. Okay. Alright, so after that, Jake Something and the Rascals, Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel, they're all complaining to Santino about various things. So Santino makes a tag team match with the Rascals and Jake Something and Cody Deaner, who comes in and says, "Hey, I'll be your partner." I don't think that's gonna sit well with Jake Something, because he's been going amok about Cody Deaner being a wuss and all that. Alright, so I get that 2.25 out of 5 stars, and that's pretty much it. Alright, then we have Alan Angels, Mr. 5 from the Dark Order days. He is back. We haven't seen him in a while with the Sound Check show. And he brings out Steph DeLander and the big man, Khan! I know, not Khan! Not Tony Khan, not Nick Khan, not even Shad Khan, because it's spelled differently, K-O-N, Khan! So they come out, So Alan thinks that Steph DeLander and Khan are dating, but that's not true. Well, Steph DeLander has a different boyfriend, I think. But anyway, so they said, "Oh, we're not dating. We're just professional." So when Alan Angels is told no, he starts hitting on Steph DeLander. He's like, "Hey, can I see your tits?" Something like that. And then Khan takes offense to that, starts beating up security for no apparent reason. Weird. So we get that, and I gave it 2.25 out of 5 stars, and that's pretty much it. Alright, then we go to the Rascals and Jake Something and Cody Deaner. But first, we get Cody Deaner having some options, as he always does, from Santino Marletta. And he's like, we can keep this as a regular, traditional tag team match player, or we make it an Albany Tornado tag team match, and he lets the fans vote, and guess what? They picked the fucking Tornado tag team match. Why not? Because you know how the marks are. Smart, Mark, let's have a street fight. So Jake Something slams both of them in a double Naga. So we get that. Then the Rascals get sent to the floor. We go to break. Come back. Jake Something's on the floor. Cody Deaner gets double teamed. And then Jake Something gets ran into the ring post. Ow! Which left Zachary Wentz to hit a running shooting star press inside the ring for a near fall on Cody Deaner. And then eventually Jake Something fights his way to his feet. Starts cleaning house. Tosses Zachary Wentz at Trey Miguel to cut off a suicide dive. That was nice. Then they sit out powerbomb for a near fall on Trey Miguel. But he comes right back with a poison Hurricane Rana. And then both men go for the cover. We get Stereo near falls. The fans are like, yeah, this is great. And it was. And then Trey Miguel and Jake Something head to the outside, where Trey Miguel blinds him with spray paint. Was it black? Red? What color? I don't know what color it was. But anyway. So that left Cody Deaner to get caught with a backbreaker double stomp combo. Nasty. And the Rascals get the win in under 10 minutes. And match was pretty good. I gave it 3.25 out of 5 stars. But then, the Rascals celebrate, but that's short-lived as Steve Macklin comes out and beats the fuck out of them. And that's it. And then he goes to the back, gets into an argument with Frankie Kazarian once again for what happened at Under Siege, and suggests that a deal they had kind of fell through. We don't know. I guess that deal was like, oh, we're going to become a tag team. I don't know what it was. But we got all that. So, Steve Macklin, former TNA heavyweight champion, not so, not a happy camper with former multiple X Division champion and tag team champion in his own right. That's Mr. Frankie Kazarian. That's it. Alright, we move on. Alright, then we get a sit-down interview with Tom Phillips and Mike Santana, who's happy with his return at Rebellion about a month or so ago. He says, yeah, I know, I'm known for my time in LAX, with OTs, but he's very happy with what happened back then. He was away for 5 years, lost his dad before the pandemic hit in 2020. He needed to save his own life, and, more on that later. So I think we got like 2 parts or something like that. So, that was pretty good, a little backstory on Santana, like we didn't know that already, but we move on with that. Alright, so I give that 3 out of 5 stars. Alright, then we have a newcomer, a wrestling podcast host named Gabby La Spiza. Don't know who she is, never heard from her in my life. So anyway, she's out, brings out Ash by Elegance. Dana Brooke comes out with George, her handler, who comes out with a big induction. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Ash by Elegance. Who cares? So after that introduction, Gabby asks about Ash's last name. We know it's Brooke, or her real last name, her real name. But apparently, Dana Brooke is a lifestyle brand, or elegance is a lifestyle brand. Gary's like, I never heard of it before. It doesn't like. I was like, I don't like my authority being disrespected. I feel like I'm being insulted. So then we look at what happened at Under Siege as Dana Brooke attacked Jessica Havoc with a chair after she cheated to win at Under Siege. And then the blood spitting by Rosemary, making George the assistant go, ah! Making me like, oh, yes. So we get that. Alright, so we see the footage, and, we see all that, and, maybe Dana Brooke's all mad because Xia Brookside beat her a few weeks ago. So then, I think George Iceman, the handler, goes, hey, where did you get that footage from? Tony Khan. Gabby says, well, from the TNA Plus app. For that low price of $9.99. No. Anyway. And speaking of Xia Brookside, she comes out and issues another match. I think it's like their fourth match. I could be wrong. But this time, it's going to be a rematch for Dana Brooke's rings that she has on her fingers. So, Dana Brooke's like, okay, deal. That's it. No deal. So, we're going to get that. So, Dana Brooke, because I'm not going to call her Ash by Ellen because it's a stupid name. So, Dana Brooke versus Xia Brookside for possession of Dana Brooke's rings coming up whenever that match happens. Alright, so that entire segment I gave 2.25 out of 5 stars, and that's pretty much it. Alright, then after that, we're going to look at, say his name, and he appears, once again, I believe in Joe Hendry. So we get all that. So we get an interview with him, being interviewed, well, I just said that. So he gets interviewed about his theme song climbing up the UK charts, because it's number 1 here in the US. On Spotify, I think. But we get all that, so congrats to Mr. Joe Hendry for his theme song being climbing up the UK charts. It's almost going to be number 1 with a bullet in England. We got all that. Alright, we move on. Alright, there we go. Santino Marella with his big, huge announcement. It is huge. We're going to get a Champions Challenge match, which is basically a 16-person tag team match. 8 people, 8 versus 8 match. So it's going to feature Moose, Jordan Grace, the Knockouts champion, Mustafa Ali, the X-Rated champion, Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, the tag team champions, Masha Slamovich, Alicia Edwards, Laredo Kid, that's their team, their 8-person team. When did Masha and Alicia win anything? They're not champions, I don't think. Or did they win the Knockouts tag team belts? I think Spitfire still has them. Yeah, because they're in the match too. So, I don't know why they're on the champion side. But anyway, they're going to be taking on Matt Hardy, Steph DeLander, Sami Callihan, the madman that he is, Eric Young, Ryan Nemeth, no Dolph Ziggler, Ryan Nemeth, Spitfire, Jody Threat, and my girl Danny Luna, and, once again, say his name and he appears, Joe Hendry. So, that's going to be next week on the program. And Josh Alexander, who is injured right now, got replaced by Ryan Nemeth, because he was supposed to be in the match. So yeah, a 16-person tag team match. Crazy. I mean, how are you going to keep up, referee? I hate to be a referee in that match. But by the way, the Laredo Kid is the digital media champion. So after beating Crazy Steve. So we got that all next week on the program. Alright, so I gave all that 2.25 out of 5 stars. So it's going to be chaotic next week on the program. We'll move on. Alright, then we go back to some actual wrestling action. Back to the men. We got the Octopus, which is that creepy mask of his, Jonathan Gresham. And he's wrestling in the mask. Not the octopus mask like he usually wears. He has that new mask on. He's taking on, well, Ring of Honor. I can't even say legend, but, you know, we haven't seen this guy in a long time. I haven't seen him since, I think right around before the pandemic era hit. Will Ferreira. I think he was in the Foundation. I forgot the last time I seen him. I forget if he was in a tag team. I even forget. It's been so long. I don't even remember the last thing Will Ferreira even did in Ring of Honor. And now he's in TNA. Okay, he's facing Jonathan Gresham. So it feels like an old school Ring of Honor match. By the way. Oh yeah, big time Pepsi. So we get all that. Alright. So, 3.5 minute match. Did I say 3.5 minutes? So, it's also with Gresham starting Fast and Furious with a drop kick. Ties up the arm. As our commentary talks about Gresham spitting up ink during his match with Kushida at Under Siege. Wait, that was the referee. I don't know if it was, maybe I missed it. But that's been happening the last couple weeks that referees are coughing and then Kushida's spitting up ink. I don't know about Jonathan Gresham, just weirdness. But anyway. So we hear that. Will Ferreira sends him into the corner, but gets taken down with a springboard moonsault. And then Gresham rams the knee into the mat like 1,000 times. Then he spits up some more ink and then rubs it in Will Ferreira's face to kind of blind him. I guess the referee allowed it. And then he locks in the Mandible Claw, thinking he's freaking Mick Foley, Mankind. Basically Will Ferreira chokes out, taps out, whatever he does, 3.5 minutes. That's it. Why is he using my move? It's not very tasty like these Doritos. Mick, will you stop with the Doritos? It's late, god damn it. I know, but they're very tasty. Like, shut up. Jonathan Gresham's using a Mandible Claw. Why don't you just yell about that? Moron. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Alright, so we get that. Match was 2.5 out of 5 stars, so that's it. Alright, then we see the beautiful, the vivacious, one hot piece of Japanese ace. Multiple time world champion in TNA. And that's the beautiful Hall of Famer of TNA, Gail Kim. Woo, she looked hot. Drives to a mountain retreat and finds a meditating Giselle Shaw saying they need to talk. I wonder about what. Don't answer that. But, maybe they're talking about shoes. I don't know. Where we get that. So, that's a little interesting. So, I get that 2.25 out of 5 stars. And, whoops. Whoa. My notes. My computer's going wacko. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's get back on course. Here we go. This is... Okay. Alright, so we're going to see what happens next week with Gail Kim and Giselle Shaw. And that's it. Alright, then we go to your main event of the evening. Tag team match. The winners will face off in a singles match. I don't know when. For a future X Division title shot against Mustafa Ali. Who comes out and does some commentary. So we have Speedball Mountain, Mike Speedball Bailey, and Trent Seven taking on Chris Bay and Ace Austin of the Bullet Club. By the way, too sweet me for the love of God. That's it. Alright, this match was freaking great. All four men going berserk, wild, crazy. buck wild on that bitch. Buck wild on that bitch. We got that. So it's also with Mike Bailey taking Chris Bay down, and then Trent Seven comes in for an assisted twisting moonsault. Say that 5 times fast. Alright, so they hit that. Mike Bailey comes back in, gets elbowed in the face to cut off his momentum really quickly. And then Ace Austin comes in, stomps on Bailey in the corner. And then Chris Bay comes in with kicks of doom to the back. Ow. Mike Bailey gets back up with a middle rope drop kick to Ace Austin. And then Trent Seven comes in with a DDT. Then a swinging slam for a near fall on Chris Bay. And then Mike Speedball Bailey tries for a shooting star press, but it's a little bit too early for that. And we get a crash and burn, which basically leaves everyone down. As we go to break, we come back. Trent Seven and Chris Bay come in off a double hot tag, and they exchange shoulder blocks. Chris Bay hits goes for a DDT, gets countered into a suplex, but that suplex got countered into a knee to head. And then all 4 men are in the ring again, and then all 4 men are knocked down pretty quickly. But then the Bullet Club stomps away at Mike Bailey and Mike Bailey and Trent Seven to take over. But then Mike Speedball Bailey hits a super kick on Chris Bay, sending him to the floor. And then Trent Seven drops Ace Austin for a near fall. But then Chris Bay knocks Mike Bailey into the corner for a save, as the match is still going chaotic. And it went 17 minutes to end the show. So then the Bullet Club are sent outside, and Speedball Mountain hit a pair of flippy dibbity-doos onto them, made the fans happy. They throw him back in, and Mike Bailey hits Chris Bay with the tornado kick, but then he gets sent outside again, and then Ace Austin hits another big flippy dibbity-doo to take Speedball Mountain down at the same time. And then Ace Austin stops to yell at Mustafa Ali. Kind of looked like a bad idea. Which left Mike Speedball Bailey to kick Chris Bay into a dragon suplex by Trent Seven. And then Ace Austin comes in, but gets hit with the Birmingham Hammered, not the Burning Hammer, Birmingham Hammer from Birmingham, England, into the Ultimate Weapon. That's a nice Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy anything reference. They hit the Ultimate Weapon 1, 2, 3 in exactly 17 minutes. Great match. 3.5 out of 5 stars. And that's it. So, for a future title shot, we got Mike Bailey and Trent Seven, and that match is going to be fucking epic. And the winner of that gets a shot at Mustafa Ali's X Division title. Don't know when. Maybe against all odds. Maybe at SummerSlam. At Slammiversary. But we'll see what happens with all that. But all in all, pretty solid edition of Impact. Oh, sorry, TNA Impact Wrestling. So, I'm going to give TNA a solid 7 out of 10 stars. So, we got all that. Alright, that's it, everybody. Thank you for watching. Leave me your thoughts and opinions down below about Ring of Honor and TNA this week. Just keep it clean and keep it to wrestling only and not stupidity, because you're going to get blocked. If you don't like that, go fuck yourself. And that's pretty much it. But hit that like button. If you like the video, hit that like button. Stick that thumb screen up everybody else's ass. Subscribe to my channel and my other channels as well. And share the video all over the internet. And please hit that bell for more. And we'll see what happens with all that. Alright, so I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to charge my backup phone. And hopefully, we get through the weekend with this fucking storm. I mean, we'll see what happens in the next few hours here in the Northeast. I mean, it's 3:23 in the morning on your late Friday night, getting close to Saturday morning. So we'll see what happens with that. If I do lose power, hopefully I can get it back by sometime Saturday night, so I can do SmackDown, and then I could do Collision and Rampage, maybe late Saturday night tomorrow, late Saturday night, or early Sunday, before I go out for Sunday dinner, if I even go out for Sunday dinner. It's supposed to rain like cats and dogs on Sunday, so I may or may not go over for Sunday dinner. I'm not even sure yet, but we'll see what happens with that, but I'll let you guys know what's going on. Hopefully, via social media, I'll try to let you guys know, but if you don't hear from me at all weekend, it's probably because I have no internet. But, I mean, we'll see what happens with all that in the next few hours and going into Saturday and Sunday, maybe in the next week, too. But hopefully this thing doesn't last that long, and it's pretty much a nothing thing, but we'll see. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Once again, 6.5 out of 10 stars for Ring of Honor this week, and a solid 7 out of 10 stars for TNA Impact. And we'll see what happens next week on both shows. And that's pretty much it for that. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Until next time, if you're not down with that, well, I got 3 words for you. Fuck you, man! And fuck this solar storm, too. That's all I gotta say about that. Until next time, my friends, get some sleep, have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!